Hello everyone, welcome to another short video. In this video, we are going to look at URL filtering profile on Palo Alto Firewall. So URL filtering profile is used really to control access to the certain websites, users access over the internet or maybe internal depending on your needs. So what you can do is you go to your Palo Alto Firewall and on the objects tab under security profiles, you have the option for the URL filtering profile. There are some predefined categories that come with, you if you have URL filtering license, then your firewall will be downloading those default categories coming from the Palo Alto, and then because I do not have a license, you see if I go on the dashboard, you see my URL filtering was 000. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use custom URL categories in order to show you this demo. You can also create custom URL categories based on your needs if you do not like something which is, as per the default URL categories. So let's create some URL categories first. I want to create one for Wikipedia. Mm, sorry, Wikipedia. Sorry, I'll make it small. Wikipedia. It's a URL list, or you want to do a category match. If I select a category match, then if I have to add here the categories defined by the Palo Alto. So this category named as Wikipedia might have abortion and auctions category to it. So now this governs both of them, and these are the default categories coming from the Palo Alto. Palo Alto categorizes URLs as per the content on them and as per their use, so that all is fetched from the Palo Alto. So we are going to create our custom category. So I'll just remove it. I am going to put my own URL match. So my URL list, and let's add here star.wikipedia.org. So all the Wikipedia URLs are categorized under here. Let's say okay. So my Wikipedia category is created. Let's create one more for the Flipkart. I want to create one for Flipkart. I'll create three because I want to show you a few things. And for Flipkart, let's do start.flipkart.com. You can check its syntax by going into Google and searching for the URL syntax, what syntax you have to use to put them there. Flipkart. And I'll use one more that will be gambling. Gambling URL list, I'll say start.gambling.com. Oh. Now let's just hit OK. So now we have three URL categories, custom URL categories created. Now let's go to the URL filtering profile and see what are the options in there. In order to create a new URL filtering profile, there's one already given as default. You can click on add, and this is a new category. I'll call it Shivam category. Basically, it's a profile, not a URL category. My bad, I used the wrong. Okay, you can see the custom URL categories are listed here: Flipkart, gambling, Wikipedia, which I created, and there are then the predefined categories. I won't be having any values in them as I do not have a license. So I want Flipkart. I want my users to access Flipkart, but the action should be I want to just generate a log. I want to just allow the traffic, or I want to block it, or I want to continue. Continue means user will get a page where there will be a button on it with the word continue, and after they click on that button, they will be taken further. And in case of override, users will be required to provide a password onto the page. So after that, they will be going forward. Let's click on Flipkart. It's not business related. I'll say continue. Users will get a page to say continue on the Flipkart. Sorry, one second. Okay, continue. Gambling. I wanna block gambling. Gambling is blocked. Wikipedia. Mm, Wikipedia. Let's do override. My users might learn hacking from it. Okay. And you see, user credential submission. We'll talk about it in a minute. And similarly, you can set the actions for the predefined categories as well. I'm done setting them. Now let's look onto the tab of URL filtering settings. Here you say log container pages only. The container pages means if I have blocked shopping category here, then only those URLs will be blocked that come under the category shopping. It's not like if there are any other advertisements or something else on that page, then they also gets blocked. So log container pages, safe search enforcement. If you're aware about safe search, if you want to enforce the safe search, you just need to check this box. And HTTP header logging. Do you want to log the user agent header from the HTTP request? Do you want to log the referrer header? Do you want to log the X forwarded for XFF is very important. If you already have a proxy in between, suppose there is a proxy before the Palo Alto firewall and it's adding the XFF header, then it really helps to recognize what was the real client behind the proxy with the help of XFF header. I don't have these, so I'm not going to log them. User credential detection. So your Palo Alto can detect when a user is trying to type in his username or username and password onto a website and can, control that. So if you see user credential detection, there was the action. You can allow that, block that user credential submission, but first you need to detect it. So as of now, it's disabled. I'll show you there. So user I use IP user mapping. So when your Palo Alto is using the user ID feature and it has a mapping of the IP address and the username. So if any time a user coming from that specific IP is trying to put his username into a field, then Palo Alto will know, okay, he's trying to send his username, and Palo Alto will be detected and able to take the action specified in the categories section. And then use domain credential filter. This only works with a Windows-based agent, and it can detect the user ID and password both. Okay, so these first, this one user IP use IP user mapping and use group mapping. They can detect only the username, but this can detect user ID and password both. So the thing is, use group mapping. How does it work? So if you select this option, then you select the group. So all the users in that group, if they're trying to put the usernames on the internet, then Palo Alto will know and accordingly allow or block them from doing that option. I'm gonna keep it disabled for now. HTTP header insertion. Suppose I want my Palo Alto to insert a specific HTTP header into the HTTP request, which is going out, so I can do that as well. You can specify any headers you want. Okay, so you need to give their values and what will be the log and domains, for what domains you want that header to be inserted. I'm not in need of it. Inline categorization. It enables local inline categorization of the web pages, also the cloud inline categorization. So both of those options are there. If you want any exceptions to these inline categorizations, you can add those values in here. I'm not gonna do it because this is disabled for me. I don't have a license for it. So now let's just hit okay. Now I have created my category, my URL filtering profile, sorry, not the category. Now I'll go to the policies, and on my security policy, let's apply the URL filtering profile. I'll show you about this thing as well. One moment. Profiles, URL filtering. That's a Shibam category. Hit okay. Yep. I'll see if it has been applied or not. Yeah, it is applied. Let's commit the changes. Commit job was choose auto commit. Okay, as of now, the auto commit is in picture. So 1 second, let me see if it has completed now. Okay, I'll pause the video for the commit and then I'll reshare. So everyone, now my commit is now complete. Now let's go to the Linux machine, which is our client in this case. Let's log into it. Test, sorry, put a password in there. Yeah, in case of override, I mentioned you need to put a password in there. That password is set on device, content ID, and this URL admin override feature. So you click on here, just put a password. I'm gonna give 1234, and then here also 1234, and then I'm gonna keep all the process by default. And now I'm again gonna commit my changes in order for the credentials to fit. Okay, guys, so my commit for override password is already completed. You can see my password has been set. It's just the location I have had. Not a problem. Yeah, that's fine. Location is basically when you have multiple pieces. Okay, now let's go to onto our Linux machine. Hit here. We'll be accessing Wikipedia, Flipkart, and gambling. And let's see what happens. Okay, Firefox is now launching. Yeah, okay, it has launched now. Let me open a new tab and add the Wikipedia here. Wikipedia.org. Let's do HTTPS do Wikipedia. Yeah, it says potential risks ahead. Yeah, it's probably because of, see, it's blocked as of now, and it's asking me override password. Let's put the password because Wikipedia is set to override, I believe. Yep, I do not now. That was because, of the certificates not being trusted because there was an IP address here. Okay, that's it about Wikipedia. Now let's see what happens when we access Flipkart.com. Yep, you see Flipkart.com. Continue. Now let's go for the gambling. Gambling. Gambling is a straight block. So we saw one continue, one override, and one that would we say override and one block. Now let's talk about a few more things under the URL filtering. One of them will be the response pages. So you saw I was getting some pages to put the password, put the override thing. So those response pages are located under device and then the response pages. So these are the default pages which are already there. If you see continue and override page, I do have a custom page, but not a problem. That's what I created in the back. Yep, basically you will have the predefined ones. Let's check the other one. Yep, you see all of them, but you want to create your custom, you can just download the predefined one and modify the HTML code for the page. And yep, and if you have your what I say interface management profiles applied over the interfaces, then you need to enable the response pages on the interface. So if you go into the interface management profiles, and if you ever create a new profile, then you see there's an option enable the response pages. Otherwise, response page won't be available to the users, whatever interface this management profile is applied to. So other than that, let me see if we need to talk about anything else. Yeah, as we have covered all the profiles, let's talk about security profile groups as well. So, security profile group is a group of all these profiles. If I click on add, then let's create a group, and then I can select antivirus profile if I have default, and I can select each type of profile in this group as per my need, the profiles I have created. And yeah, let's create it and I'll hit OK. And then this group can be applied onto the policy at once. You go in here, and this time instead of under the actions, instead of applying the individual profiles, I'll say group, and I select my group, and all of the profiles which are selected in this group will be applied to this rule. Another thing was there was a URL category option here. You can choose your custom URL categories here as well, you can see. But then the thing is, now what will happen, it's going to see this source to this destination, and these services and applications which are allowed here only towards these URL categories are allowed. So the challenge of calling in a URL category here is either you can allow or either you can block. So this action gets applied to the URL categories mentioned here. But if you really want to utilize the continue, override, and all other fancy URL filtering features, logging the headers, inserting the then you need to use the URL filtering profile in that case. So that's the challenge of using the URL category. It's not really a URL filtering control because you cannot get most of the features those are supported. This is just either allow or block. That's it. You cannot say continue or any other stuff. So that was it about URL filtering. We also talked about security profile groups. That was a 1 minute topic. So I covered it in here. And yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.